Right, hello guys. So this is pretty casual video today. I was sorting through some stuff here at home and the office and 40k stuff and modeling stuff, and I wasn't really intending to make a video. But as is often the case when I'm doing this kind of stuff, just sorting things out, I tend to get some thoughts about making content and what other things I'm going to do and planning in my head. Now before I even say anything else, I'll state clearly that nothing is changing at all when it comes to the long form content, okay? Nothing. In fact, I'm working on several pieces this week that I want to get finished as soon as possible. However, there's plenty of reason for me to make shorter form stuff to run along with this, and that's going to take me very little time to make, and I think it's going to be useful. So my thoughts for today was to just kind of clarify for you guys the purpose of this new 40k Primer series, as well as in general just thinking about other content. So the Primer series, as I said on the overview, is designed to be a short form way of getting to the point of information about various things in 40k. And I think for the continuation of this series, I will avoid doing the long intro outros, as the series is really designed to be for people who want to just look up something. I might still do like a little quote or whatever, but you know, basically it's about getting into it and getting into the information. It's designed, as I said, for new people coming into 40k, so that, for example, if they wanted to get a bit of an understanding about one aspect, one figure, one race, they could just get the basics of it without having to plow through an hour-long video. Now, before you all start freaking out and the inevitable comments of I like long form content and do the long form content, and if you can't sit through an hour you shouldn't get into 40k. But listen, I know where you're coming from because I've been there. You know, you find a channel that you like listening to, and you want to just sit and hear that person narrate and narrate and narrate, and there's something that's kind of usually pretty calming about it, or that you just really enjoy. I know, because I've had this with channels myself. But at the same time with this, and I'm hopeful at some point we're going to branch out into stuff beyond 40k as well, there is some genuine use and purpose to doing different styles of the same thing, because as I said, the long form stuff, it's all good, but it takes me an excessive amount of time to produce, and if I can work other bits and pieces around that, it's all good. One thing, for example, is that when people come to something new, they might not have the patience or the inspiration, the kind of appetite to sit through 20 minutes before they even get into the real details of what's what. And it's not about attention span, it's just that when you come to something new, you usually don't have that kind of passion and burning interest that will allow you to sit straight through something for an hour. And it's not about people, like I say, having a short attention span. It's literally that burning interest. And once you've got it, once you're pulled into something, you'll just plow through content and content and content. But initially, that might not be the case. So a short primer of content can be enough to spark somebody's interest in something that they maybe didn't realise was as interesting as it turned out to be. The other thing to keep in mind, as I was thinking about today as well, is that 40k has a heavy amount of complex details which are just scattered everywhere. I mean, how many times have you seen comments from people saying like, which book should I begin with? Where do I start with 40k? You know, there's no good answer there because it's just such a massive thing. And like I say, once I've built up enough of the primer videos, even for people who are fairly well versed already in 40k, if you wanted to refresh your memory or perhaps point to something like a blank in their 40k knowledge and say, oh yeah, you need to go look at this, they could just point straight to the primer video instead of having to find a timestamp somewhere in a 90-minute long form video which covers everything. The long form content for me is really like a dramatic story which I try to present in as cinematic a fashion as possible, where the shorter content is purely about information and trying to be as to the point as possible, which is pretty hard for me. Now my last question actually for you guys is, I did make a shorter version of the initial 40k primer video that I posted a few days ago. It's about 10 minutes long, but it is essentially a cut for time version of the video I already posted, so it's not that different. Now I had planned to upload that as a shorter alternative at the same time, so people could pick and choose which one of the two to link to their friends or whatever. However, with the best intention when I first set out to do that in my mind, I suddenly started to feel like I was just going to get deluged with comments of saying, you've already uploaded this, why have you uploaded 2 videos, blah blah blah, and that kind of nonsense. That wasn't really where I was coming from with it, but I just wasn't sure what to do about the length of the original video. As I posted in the community poll, I was asking you guys how long should it be. In the end I just decided, yeah, it's better to just put all the information there and cut it as tight as I can. But you guys were saying, oh yeah, it should be about 10 minutes. I agree, but it's just, you end up cutting out too much there. So having posted that other one, I feel like it's kind of fine being about 20 minutes long, but I still kind of feel like I just don't know. I could put that shorter 10-minute one out there with no problems, or I could just leave it. So you guys tell me in the comments, and if there is enough generally positive consensus in the comments, and by that I mean a solid volume of support, you know, comments are, yeah, post it, all this kind of stuff, I'll throw it up on the channel. If not, and people just don't feel it's necessary, no problem, I'll just bin it and we'll move forward and everything else. But because I'm starting this series, I just kind of feel like those two kind of need to be there as that sort of initial starting point, like a pin at the beginning beginning, and then everything else just follows after that. So that's the only thing that I'm kind of wrestling with at the moment. So other than that, I'll just say I'm really motivated right now to get through so much that's been on my mind for the past month. At the moment, I'm just having a hard time juggling all the things I'm trying to get kind of sorted out. So I'm getting some more stuff up very, very soon. Thanks as always for your support, guys, because as I've said many times before, you might not think it, but every person who likes the video or leaves a comment, it genuinely contributes to the channel's success, because it directly influences how well a video or a channel is recommended in terms of content, how YouTube is generally going to rate that content. Now, one other thing I'll just say at the end here is, you know, the last month has hit me pretty hard, harder than I thought it was going to, because I really didn't get any content out at all because I physically couldn't, and it's hurt me pretty bad in terms of income because I'm doing this full time. If any of you guys want to support me further, please check out my Patreon. It's linked below this video. Even $1 of support can actually make a big difference, because, you know, if enough people throw $1 at you, it can make a big difference in terms of just where you are living all the time. So it can make a big difference to the general stability of me doing this full time. And I try not to mention this too often because I know people hate hearing about this stuff, but you know, it's there. If it's something you want to check out, I appreciate it greatly. Other than that, I'm going to get back on with stuff, get back to scripting right now and sorting out the bits and pieces I've got to, and we'll have some more stuff coming up very soon. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching as always. I'll see you next time.